Peter Freeze, Tami Foote, Josh Foreman. Josh Foreman is an environmental design specialist.
I prefer environmental wacko.
He's an environmental wacko. Tami Foote is one of our environment artists. They both did a great deal of the map for the new dry top zone, so they'll be talking to us about that later. And Peter Freeze is a writer, or so he tells us. Welcome, guys.
Allegedly.
Thanks for being on the live stream, and it's been just a wild ride so far. So anyway, Peter, you might be the one to start us off. I wanted to have you kind of go over in broad strokes what's going on in this particular episode, and give us kind of a summary of the plot as it stands today.
Well, when last we left our heroes, they were exploring a home that they found in Prosperity, which was this mining town in Dry Top, a new region that we added to the game, and it turns out that this home was a former lair of Scarlet, who was the villain from season 1.
Right.
And in this episode, suddenly the town is attacked right at the beginning of the episode by Mordemoth.
Right.
And we see these giant vines come in and destroy the town, killing some of the citizens, and opening up a tunnel that goes underneath Scarlet's house and into a new area of Dry Top,
Right.
which brings us out into this area that we call the Uplands.
The Uplands.
And up there we have some centaurs that are
Nice.
peaceful.
Yeah.
They're not the jerk centaurs from
Right.
the regular
The
game.
jerk centaurs.
And
No offense to any centaurs out there, by the way. We're very pro centaur, obviously.
I'm not, but then as we move out into the map from there, there are other complications. There's some inquest up there. There's what else do we have running around? There's
Nothing.
yeah, nothing
There's
much.
literally nothing else.
A whole lot of nothing, just
I see
howling
some
emptiness.
bats and water. There's rain.
Yep.
And
Beautiful.
and there's a sort of a trail that Scarlet's left across this area of her old steam minotaurs that were carrying things for her
Right.
to her lab that we find that is underground
Right.
in the Cavern of the Shining Lights, as the centaurs call it.
Okay.
And that is where you find the ley line hub that we've sort of led up to at this point. And from there, shenanigans ensue.
Shenanigans. Mad shenanigans.
All sorts of shenanigans.
So let me go down the line with you guys and ask you, Josh, starting with you, what did you work on for this particular episode?
I did most of the outside-ish environments in this release. So lots of deserty stuff, this canyon, this oasis,
Right.
desert.
So when you say
stuff.
you did that
There's
stuff,
some desert
right,
desert
there's some-
stuff in there
Yeah,
that I did.
some desert. I've seen some of that desert. When you say that you did that stuff, can you elaborate, like what your day-to-day is like?
So, well, as a environment design specialist, I specialize in designing environments.
Ooh, I see. That explains all of it.
That's what it
So-
says on the sash.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, I'm the map artist. I'm a map artist. And so I'm like moving props around and sticking them in pleasing arrangements.
Okay. And you're the person who's responsible for things like planting lost coins at the tops of difficult jumping puzzles, things like that.
Yeah, me and Lisa work together on that. She does the content scripting and design and stuff like that. And, you know, I'll find little nooks and crannies that I want to put them in and say, hey, can we
Yeah.
put coins here? And she's like, yes.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing.
The maddening quest for all, what is it, 25 lost coins, 30 lost coins
30,
in
I
this
think.
one?
Yeah.
You guys, you and Lisa Davis.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We like scavenger hunts. I don't know. It's
I
just
love
a-
the scavenger
it's the type
hunts.
of thing I like.
I'm terrible at jumping puzzles, so that's my big problem. Tammy, what did you work on in this particular episode?
I worked on the ley line hub, on the Scarlet's tunnels,
Okay.
and then the other instances like Fort Salma and Concordia.
Okay. And how is your job different, or is it kind of similar to what Josh does? Is it map artist stuff? What do you work on?
It's really similar. We essentially
Not as special.
No, not as special. She's not a
as
specialist.
special.
Let me make that
Josh
really
is special.
clear.
Ist.
The specialist.
It's really pretty much the same thing. He has more of a design focus
Okay.
than I do, but our day-to-day work is really similar. He can work on the stuff that I've worked on. I can work on the stuff that he worked on.
Okay,
You know, sometimes we do
We're
that.
interchangeable cogs in a big machine.
nice.
That we don't
Perfect.
understand.
Yeah, we don't understand or control. So when you say that he has more of a focus on design, I think that sometimes outside the industry, people don't really understand what the difference is between like design and art. So how does design differ from somebody who's heavily focused on the art itself?
So he might be more involved in
Layout?
I guess layout, and I don't know how to use it, like just design.
Right.
Like, what
Yeah,
would be-
I'm kind of like an ambassador between design and art in a way.
Okay.
Not that we fight. Maybe ambassador is the wrong word.
I'm a diplomat.
I
It's
mean,
dan-
he'll be
it's
involved
dangerous.
in meetings that the designers go to.
Gotcha.
And-
And the game designers are the ones who are actually creating the content and the structure and the puzzles
Yeah,
and the
they're the
challenges.
ones
in the
like,
game.
hey,
Gotcha.
let's
Okay.
make a village of centaurs, and
Right.
they're gonna go over here and do this thing and interact with those things.
Right.
And so they're the
Okay.
ones who actually hook all that stuff up with scripts and stuff. And so the artists are more like, we're putting rocks and trees places, and they're putting all the characters and creatures
Right.
places.
We give them the
Right,
space
right.
to do that with.
Okay.
And then make the frame rate all sound so nobody gets mad at us when they play the
Yay!
game.
Very few people. I've heard nothing but amazing things.
No one ever
from-
gets mad at us.
Nobody
right?
ever
I
nobody
don't
ever
think
gets mad at
that
you.
happens.
No,
No.
no, no. There's nothing but positive comments coming out of this whole area, especially the maps. People are constantly talking about how breathtaking and beautiful they are. So, good job, excellent work, really, really nice. Peter, what did you do? What the H did you do on this release?
Well, on this release, I was a writer, and so there was Angel and Alon and Bobby and I that all worked on the writing. Angel tended to take more of the stuff that's involving our main characters,
Gotcha.
and I did more of the open world sort of thing.
Okay,
So it's everything from writing dialogue to the event text that comes up while you're playing the different events in the game, and conversational text.
Okay.
Things like that.
so when people are playing through the story, what kinds of dialogue? I did see at one point that you had pulled a Game of Thrones. I saw this on Reddit. I don't know if this is something that we want to talk about, but people are accusing you of causing a very nasty fate to a very beloved character. Do you have anything to say for yourself?
I don't know how beloved he was. So when we started out, we do the VO way ahead of when we're writing things that aren't voiced. And early on, I saw that we were going to have a male Quaggan voice role.
Right.
And I thought it would be funny to have a Quaggan panhandler in this desert town. So I wrote some
That's kinda
dialogue
funny.
for a panhandler that's, he's asking for spare copper or fish or whatever you have.
Right.
And I put him outside the bar that Josh set up, that's like the watering hole for the local people to meet in.
Right.
And I did this all knowing the whole time he was going to die after 2 weeks. That's a spoiler. and so
It's rough.
so I'm writing this dialogue for him. He's really really pathetic and moany, and he's wheezing and coughing all the time. I'm laughing the whole time writing this dialogue, and then I thought it would be funny to let players just give money to him, and he's just he's a panhandler. He's not going to thank you or acknowledge what you've done, and he'll just take whatever you have to give. And I was curious, it was an experiment. Like, what would players do? Would they just keep giving him things? And
Apparently in chat people are swearing and saying very nasty things about you. I told you he's beloved. You can't kill a Quaggan. So what would you guys say as far as story goes or art or whatever? What was your favorite part of this episode? Do you have a favorite?
Are you asking me first?
I'm asking whoever wants to talk.
Well, I mean, I like the maps.
Yeah, I do
Walking
too.
into this oasis here behind us,
Right,
that was
I know.
pretty amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. You didn't know it was coming. I didn't watch, as I've said before on this show, I don't read anything ahead of time, and I don't experience the maps until they come out on live. So like coming around that corner from the arid area of Dry Top into the oasis was incredible. It was so cool. Freaking awesome. Anyway, yeah, the writing not so much, but the art on the map is amazing. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, that's my favorite still. I used to be an environment artist before I was a writer, so I'm still all
okay.
about the exploration and seeing what the world looks like and
Gotcha.
finding little hidden things in it. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think also the end cinematic
Yeah.
that we just played.
That
We
was a
don't have anybody
standout.
from the cinematics team on today, but I just want to, if any of them are watching, which they probably aren't because they're incredibly busy, but if they are, you guys did such an incredible job with that cinematic. I had goosebumps the entire time.
They knocked it
watching
out of the park.
It was so
Yeah,
good.
it was
so
amazing.
good. Anyway, those are our favorite parts.
Yeah.
Did you guys have a favorite part of the
I want to hear
episode?
Tammy's favorite part.
Yeah, Tammy, what's your favorite part, man?
I like the vine destruction, like of the
Yeah.
like Fort Salma and Concordia.
It was creepy. It
That's
was really scary.
it's fun to see. Well, I mean, I did it, so but I mean, it's fun to see that all destroyed and you know,
Yeah.
with vines and stuff, because
So-
everybody knows that world is something else. That those areas is
Yeah.
you know, clean and
And orderly, and then
Uh-huh.
just having them dissolve into chaos and pits and vines everywhere. It's upsetting. So basically, Tammy's favorite part of the episode is the stuff that she did.
Yeah, of course.
That's okay. It's
She's
cool.
so self-centered.
I just finished the episode last night, and the Fort Concordia stuff where you fight the boss. It was so disturbing. It was
That
so
thing's
incredibly
nasty.
disturbing. Like the boss is disturbing on
Yeah.
his own, and I died like 7 times because I was soloing him. But the actual destruction running through Concordia and seeing, and like you can actually jump on top of the vines and explore it. So cool. Really, really well done. Josh, your favorite part?
Well, I guess I really enjoy deserts as a ecosphere. I enjoy all the different types of deserts. Like if you Google desert, you'll see 20 different types of desert. You know,
Right.
most people just think of like the Sahara sand dunes, but there's lots of different options and varieties and ways to go about that. So that was fun. I also really enjoyed the building the town, knowing that I was going to destroy it. So
Yeah.
working with the prop artists to make all the houses and stuff to be able to be destroyed and all that kind of stuff was fun. It's kind of like working on a movie set for a city that you're going to blow up or whatever, right? You know,
yeah.
kinda like-
Do you do anything differently when you're designing something if you know that you're going to destroy it?
Yeah, I
change?
mean, it's kind of a logistical nightmare because you have to build everything with different states of destroyed and non-destroyed, and you have to make sure everything lines up in both sets. So it's tricky, but it's rewarding too.
Nice. Awesome. Are there any little secret things in this episode that you feel like players might overlook that you want to make sure that need to call some attention to? Anything?
It never happens because we always hide things, and then within 20 minutes it's on Dolphy. So
Right? Yeah, I know. Which is great. Like it's cool. I love having fans that are that dedicated. And like this, I think this show is a really good example. I always am like, well, who's really gonna find us in the span of 30 minutes? And it's always pure chaos, which is really, really fun. Tammy, I have a question for you. Out of all the Living World content, what do you think? Do you feel like you had a lot of freedom on anything in particular? Is there anything you wanted to talk to about that?
I forgot an area that I worked on, Brisbane.
Oh, okay.
I had a lot of freedom on that.
Okay.
Basically, the designer Sarah Sperry, she came to me and was like, I need an entrance here and here and an exit here, and that was what I had to work with in
Whoa.
this space. And usually there's a lot more direction, and so I was pretty much free to go. And of course, along the way, there's lots of feedback, and it's an iterative process where she's like saying, okay, I want this here, I want this design here, I want this to happen here,
Right.
and then also Dave Beetlestone comes in like, oh, let's adjust the look, and so he kind of oversees the general look, and then I go to town
Right.
and start creating.
Dave Beetlestone is the environment art lead, and
also
is
known as Lord Beetleton.
Lord Beetleton.
There's a statue of him in the game,
I
Yep.
made that
and,
statue.
and a painting.
with his dogs.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's infamous. But yeah, so he's kind of the one who oversees all the stuff that you guys both do. You guys both are on Dave's team?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so we are going to go to another segment. And I think what we're going to do next is some fan art. Ruby, ghost producer, would you like to go to fan art? Yeah! Okay, so this is our first one. It is by DeviantArt user Mercenary Chibi. and the title is Quaggan's Bedtime. This is showing
No.
I know. This is showing a golem reading a bedtime story to 3 adorable, sleepy little Quaggans. And
Just before they die.
just before Peter
Where they're
apparently kills
strangled
them.
by vines.
And thanks to Panda Char for this one.
That's very cute.
This is so cute, isn't it? I love it. The next one is from the Zoutician on Tumblr. This is a Tumblr submission, and this is Hazelnut, who is a baby Sylvan foxhound. Is that Sylvan hound? And
Sounds
it's
right.
freaking the cutest thing ever.
That's
You guys,
amazing.
we kind of can see just a tiny little version of it, but this is such a cute little piece. Yeah, Fernhound.
Nice.
Is so cute.
You know what? Let me add something real quick. If anyone likes that type of art, Google Wood Splitter Lee.
Wood Splitter Lee.
Yeah,
Okay.
she is an amazing sculptor who does like furred, like sculptures that are actually posable and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
you know, it looks a lot like
Nice.
that.
And those are actual physical sculptures.
Yeah.
Awesome. Little art discussion happening here. It's good. And our last piece that we wanted to show today comes from the user Kiss Kicker, and it is awesome. It is a gorgeous piece.
Nice.
And like I want you guys. Hopefully, we'll link to these somewhere in the details on the YouTube page or on our Guild Wars 2 Tumblr, which is guildwars2.tumblr.com. And you can see the higher res versions of these because they are super duper cool. And lots more user generated stuff is coming through that Tumblr as well. So, yeah, why don't we take some questions? Some cute little
Oh, the
questions.
questions.
Oh, questions. We'll take some questions from our friend Bill Murphy from MMORPG. Bill.
Bill Murray?
What's
Hello.
up, man? No.
Hey,
Yo, I
guys.
have to, every single time I introduce him, I'm like, don't say Bill Murray. Don't say Bill Murray.
That'd be cool if
You
he
know-
was Bill Murray.
It would be great if I was Bill Murray. I would be here. It's funny because when I was a kid, I would get people asking me, "Are you related to Eddie Murphy?" And I'm like, "Really? Like, by adoption? Or, what do you mean?"
Well, I'm George Foreman's son, so.
Yeah, what you do is your middle name George then, like Josh
Close.
George Foreman.
Of course, of course.
Okay, first thing, Peter. I gave that Quaggan like 50 silver or more. I just want to tell you.
That's
It all
good.
went into his
Thanks.
salary.
That's good. I'm
actually.
glad.
You should make it so that we can now loot him, his corpse. That'd be great. I'd appreciate that. But I have questions to ask that I collected from Reddit and the MMO forums and Twitter and stuff like that. I gave the ArenaNet guys a whole slew of them, and they picked out these 3 for you. So you guys ready?
I wasn't told there'd be questions. I thought this was a game
You
show.
can pass. You can pass. You can pass completely.
Okay.
Okay.
He's not allowed to pass, Bill. Don't
Everybody,
No, there's a
everybody
gun
just
in my back.
passes, and I'm just going to answer them myself. It'll be
Okay.
fun.
Okay.
Okay, so the first one comes from a user named Coffee4CR. This is about the books that are now in the Derman Priory Library. So there are 3 new books, one about the ley lines, one about Scarlet, and one about the waypoints. And adding to the books of the library is a great idea since these guys are sort of chronicling everything that happens in Tyria. It's nice to go back and see their take on the events. Is this something we can continue looking forward to? Will the Priory keep adding stuff to their library? Or, they might have to remodel and get a bigger one if that's the case.
Thanks for bringing that up. I like as a writer, we really like adding bits of lore like this into the game, and we're going to keep on doing that as much as we can. Angel set up those books, and she also hid some little lore scraps all around Scarlet's home and the tunnel that runs underneath it. And it's fun to if we have time and it's within scope to try to add as much of that as possible to support our story and to do some external lore exploration. Definitely we'd like to keep doing that, so keep watching for it.
Cool. I didn't realize that there were books added, so now I have to go look and see what is written on them. Okay, this is question number 2 from a user named Plagiarized. I hope he didn't steal this question. Wah, wah. So Season 2 so far has made great strides in implementing lore into the game, such as Casimir's view on Crichton nobility. Can you tell us about your experience and changes, if any, to the way you handle lore compared to Season 1?
Well, we learned a lot from Season 1, and that's helping us to focus our storytelling as we go forward. We have more instances to work with in these releases, and that lets us pack more storytelling into a tighter space. rather than having sort of emergent things everywhere that people have to look around and discover. This way we can make sure that the players will see it directly in front of them as they go through the story. Having these story arcs that run over several releases in this season too lets us plan ahead of time all the story beats that we're going to be hitting, and make sure that we hit it in a way that's obviously serialized. So that's something we've learned.
I'm gonna, before I go to the last question, that makes me wonder, as you're planning these out way in advance because they're coming so fast. Is there ever anything you wish you could go in and change, or do you go in and change stuff on the fly as you're releasing these 2-week patches?
Are you asking if we change it after it's already been released, or?
Yeah, like if it's before it gets released, if you're like, oh, you know what would be cool? This one's in the pipeline. Let's quickly change it before it goes out because of something the users say or anything like that.
We're changing things up until the very last second.
There we go.
So yeah, I can say
So
that right.
nothing's ever set in stone.
No, we're constantly working on things till the last possible moment. So yeah, as long as we can, we're trying to make things better.
Then you can bring that Quaggin back to life and tell him to give me my money.
No, he'll never come back. He's gone.
Okay, so this is the last one I have for you guys, and this is from a user named Ronique. I hope that's how it's pronounced. Scarlet had several hidden bases throughout Tyria. We know about the Twilight Arbor dungeon path, the top of the Tower of Nightmares, the hidden chamber below the Priory, the landing place, and is there any leftover Scarlet technology that could be used or misused in the future?
Well, we would like to maybe answer that at some point, but we'll just have to wait and see. You've already seen in this season that with each release we've been sort of adding a little more of Scarlet's backstory here and there. So I would say that it's likely that you'll see a little more of that coming forward.
Nice.
Yeah.
You could sound any more cryptic, it would be impossible.
I have very little that I can actually say about anything. So. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bill. We'll see you again on the next Points of Interest. Thanks for taking the time.
And everybody who missed that trailer with the cinematic from OMAD, if you still want to see it, it's actually live on MMORPG.com right now.
Yeah, you guys can go it's exclusively on MMORPG.com right now.
With sound.
So, yeah, please just go watch it over and over and over again.
But not before the episode of Points of Interest is over.
Of course.
Or alternately, you could play the game.
Or that.
You could play some
finish the
Guild Wars
story.
too. Yeah.
It's also in the game.
You just go and play it through with all of your alts. And over and over and over again.
Yeah.
We've actually seen some fun stuff we could talk about. Let me say goodbye to Bill. Goodbye, Bill.
Bye, guys. Thanks
Talk
for
to you
having
next
me.
time.
Yes.
So we've actually seen, I think some players have been using like potions and transforms on themselves just before they go through a man's machine.
That's hilarious.
So they've got like baby Dolyaks coming through. Apparently there's a thread on our forums, on the official Guild Wars 2 forums, where people are posting screenshots and stuff. So
The Eternal Alchemoose.
The Eternal Alchemoose. If any of you have some fun screenshots, do check that out on the forums and add
really
to
great.
the load. Add to the load. Okay, so last thing we're going to do, I would like to seed some speculation. This is how, I think I've said it like that in all 3 episodes that we've done like this. I think I always say, I was like, seed some speculation. I don't know what that voice is.
Some speculation! We're going to do it like that now.
Crap.
Feel free to turn that into a GIF or something.
Oh, no. Josh Foreman is a wizard. In case anybody was curious, that is true. So I have some points to speculate about, and one of them, I think the most impressive one, that the most impressive thing that I saw in this episode that I want to speculate about is, like, when I was going through OMAD's machine, I felt like I actually might, as a real person, go insane. Like, it was so cool. It was so
You will.
visually, and so I kind of wanted to, like, what did
We've been working on that test.
just put her on the live stream. She'll lose her mind eventually. So I felt like, I was like, what is my character seeing? Like, what is she or he? What is she experiencing? Like, what did she hear? She talks a little bit about it. You as a character, you talk about it after, and you're like, I saw the pale tree. We gotta go talk to the pale tree. But I still feel like if that's something that Scarlet saw that drove her insane, then what if my character is insane? You know, what if something has been planted in my mind now that's going to make me crazy? This is not a spoiler. I don't know what's happening. I have no idea. This is pure speculation. Where is Mordremoth going to attack next? Is the Zephyrite leader the one that is at risk from more attack? Is Mordremoth going to drain the magic from the world? And these are all things I think that you guys have all worked on this stuff, so you literally can't say anything right now. So
Well, I can confirm that Mordremoth drains all the magic and all player skills are gone. Sorry, no more magic.
Guild Wars 2 out now. Buy it today. Is Marjorie's death going to, or Marjorie's sister's death, spoiler. Spoiler, by the way.
That's a spoiler for release 3.
Is her sister's death going to affect the relationship between Casimir and Marjorie, and between Marjorie's relationship with the rest of the group? What's going to happen there? The fact that Marjorie she takes off to deal with her sister's funeral and to be with her family at the end of this episode, just not having her there is kind of a major deal. Like she's just straight up gone. And where is this new map even going to take us? You know, there's so much cool stuff happening in this map. I can't even believe how big. Like I was surprised running around how big it is, but I can't wait to see what's coming next. Anyway, this is all speculation from me, and you guys can nod and like stroke your beards, especially you, Tam.
Can we stroke Josh's beard?
Yeah, you know what? Go for it. Yeah. And there's a couple of things. We had some speculation come through on Twitter using our hashtag, which is GW2POI. Some speculation from last week, speculating about this week's release that I wanted to read. We have a user at World of Enders who says, I think Scarlet making the twisted marionette was more of a cry for help than an attack. Her way of telling us that she was a puppet. I love that theory. That's really cool, especially because I think that Scarlet is getting humanized so much during this whole Tami investigation into Scarlet's past. I love the idea that Scarlet has she was driven insane by something, and it was her way of trying to get past the insanity that was in her mind. I like that. We have another one from @Jace Mackey, who theorizes that this next episode would bring ley lines, a Suratech, less waypoints, and the start of Jurassic Park and the Ambrite weapons.
So technically fewer waypoints?
Oh, snap. Jace Mackey, you got the grammar. Smackdown from Josh
A little bit of editing there.
I'm actually probably
fine.
wrong.
Fewer. I think it is fewer. Because the less waypoints would be smaller. Anyway.
More few.
I do like the start of Jurassic Park in the Ambrite. And we do this environment. It seems very Jurassic Park to me. Can
love to
you
go that
confirm
direction.
or deny the existence
I
of
can tell you every
velociraptors?
time I make a beautiful vista in the game, the plays in my head, so...
I like you're like, this is a very beautiful vista that I have just created. I will enjoy the theme song to Jurassic Park in my mind for a moment. And our last Twitter comes from @2fear, who theorized, and this is 2 separate tweets. His first one was more running time because of fewer waypoints, grammatically correct. And then later, okay, I was wrong. So we got some twofold action in there. Thank you to everybody who's tweeting about the show. And please continue. You can use the hashtag GW2POI if you want to be featured on our fan art section of the show. We have so much cool fan art coming in. On Tumblr, you're going to want to use the hashtag GW2 space fan space submission. And
Space. Thanks, Obama.
Thanks. Obama's going to be in Seattle on Tuesday, and we
He's
have all
coming
this,
on the show, right?
This Travis, yeah, we're gonna try. You know, it's
Presidents
really,
of interest.
It's hard to get a hold of him. He barely responds to my texts anymore. He's too cool for it. But anyway, so if you have questions, speculations, use those hashtags. We will have next Friday is the Ready Up live stream, which is the PvP balance one. So be sure to tune in for that. July 29th will be when episode 3 of season 2 it will air from in Guild Wars 2. So be sure to check that out.
We should probably do that one.
Yeah, we should probably make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're you know what? I'm hungry. I want to go get some lunch first. We'll worry about that episode later. But yeah, tune in for that. And then 3 days later, that Friday on August 2nd, we'll have another episode of Points of Interest. and it'll be awesome, and I'll have even cooler people than this if
Way
I can find
cooler.
them. It's these guys, no way. Just wait. You just wait 2 weeks. You're going to have some killer folks.
Much cooler.
My credits, as usual, I credit McLean Deemer, Drew Cady, Ben Coelho, Eli Shear, Luke Knocker, Ruby Bear, Bill Murphy, and my lovely guests. Thank you so much for being on Points of Interest.
Thanks for having us.
You are officially the Points of Interest. There they are. And
There's a point
thank
of
you
interest.
to everybody in the background harassing us. And we will see you again in a couple of weeks. Have a good day. Bye-bye.